This is the reason why you should never travel to Somalia.
I went to Somalia in the first place to write a book, a very different book about Somali pirates. We wound up going in January of 2012. On the 10th day, Ashwin flew off to Mogadishu, and I went with him to the airport. We saw him off, and it was on the way back from the airport that a truck was waiting for our car. The truck, which was actually a technical, so a battle wagon with a cannon in the back, stopped us, aimed the cannon through the windshield, overpowered my guard, and 12 guys with Kalashnikovs pulled me out of the car, put me in another car, and we drove off. So from that moment on, I was a captive.
Jesus Christ. How much money were they asking for?
So the first thing they asked for me was $20 million, but that was after the first week. So I went for a week without having a phone call home. And in that period, SEALs rescued 2 other hostages from another part of central Somalia.
And so they were in negotiations?
Yeah, there were negotiations, but they were phony negotiations in some sense because the Somalis weren't really negotiating. But once they captured me, I thought, this is going to be really hard on my family. They beat me with their guns, they broke my wrist, and they broke my glasses. I had all my notes stolen, which means all my phone numbers too. And so when they finally brought me up to a bluff with a little cell phone and said, call somebody, I said, well, bring me my notes. I need to find the right phone number. I said, no, just call someone. So I called my mom. By that time, the FBI had informed her, had actually come to her door and briefed her a little on what to say on the phone. It was also true about my colleagues at Spiegel Online in Berlin. It was also true about my family in Germany. Everyone had been briefed a little bit. First, they took me to a bush camp. Then they took me with a couple of other hostages to a prison house.
2.5 years? Is that what?
Yeah,
how long
2 years and 8 months.
God. You ate with them? You got used to them?
Mm-hmm.
Did you almost become friends with them?
Sure, I became friends with about half the pirate guard group. I was held in a number of places. They also placed me on a tuna ship, and I think I'm the only Western writer to know life on a ship like that.
5 months?
Yeah, especially when they put me on the ship, I felt like any progress the military had made in finding my location would have been completely reset. And that was a crew of 28 guys from East Asia. They couldn't speak to each other either because there was a Tower of Babel on the ship. And so they developed their own pidgin. It was a pidgin mixture of English and Chinese and a few other words. That was fascinating.
Now, is that standard for them to hold people for that long?
The men on that ship didn't get out for a total of 5 years.
But they did get out eventually?
They did get out in 2016.
Wow.
And I was privileged enough to go to Nairobi and see them there. I took them by surprise.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, how did you eventually get freed?
So my mom raised a ransom. When she talked the pirates down to 1.6 million, I got out.